What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here, podcast 56. We got Glenn DiGiacomo here sitting across the table from me, and
From
Glenn's Car Collection. We don't want to miss that one. If you are not subscribed to Glenn's Car Collection on both YouTube, iTunes, Shout Engine, his mom's
just YouTube,
message board.
YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay, YouTube, those two. And then we got Jimbo over here pushing the keyboard
Jimbo.
to bounce back and forth between me and Glenn, and then occasionally say something that needs correcting. So welcome.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, when I spew bullshit, I choke on it sometimes. Welcome, Jimbo. Welcome, Glenn. And
Appreciate it.
yes, I am also here. But I am here. We're a little late on the last upload. I apologize for that. I've been traveling. And when I say I've been traveling.
Where'd you go, Rob?
Excellent question, Glenn. I'm glad you caught that lead in. I was down in Texas. We were filming the $500 car challenge, which was a lot of fun.
Cool.
We are now turning. I wish the New York weather was cooperating. We're turning the corner. Supposed to be turning the corner. It's the end of April.
Right now it's 45 degrees.
It's freezing outside.
But it's supposed to be 60. It's almost May.
Yeah, it's almost May, and we're turning the corner on driving season in the New York area here. And I was down in Texas. I wanted to get my Corvette prepped to race Tommy's out in Pocono this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
My car, we did not start it because we were a little behind on the Nürburgring car, and we were doing the $500 car challenge. And Lou was getting ready his big horsepower drag car to go to the half mile down in Texas that weekend. So he's simply. No, none of the cars got done. I mean, his drag car, I'm sure, got done. I don't know.
Well, that was
how
the main priority.
That was the main priority, and obviously that business was the most pressing. So we'll make another trip down to Texas. But we came back from Texas. Jimbo he's sort of like the sloth at the DMV right now. You know, like,
what are you talking
hey, Jimbo,
about?
how's that edit coming?
No. It's just like things got to get done in the order. You know, it's like it's on the to-do list. It's getting there. And it's not like we have 8 other creators that have posted the videos already, so it's not like it has to be done.
First, I thought you were talking about DMV. They know
so,
me.
So here's how I envision things. I film with Jimbo in Texas all week, right? We come back. We had some barbecue. We had good times down in Texas.
Yeah.
We'll get to Texas in a second. Then I'm home for the weekend with my wife and kids. Then I was off to Vegas on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Took the Wednesday night red-eye back, which is the worst flight you can possibly take. We'll get to that also in a second. And then I'm back here. Jimbo was cutting all that $500 car challenge stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back here on Thursday. We start filming again. We get right back into it because guess what we're doing? 2 days later, we're going to Pocono. Jimbo got stoned and missed Thursday.
He's supposed to get stoned today. Today's 4:20.
Yeah, I was early.
He was early.
Yeah.
He knew he was busy.
Premature
I'm not going to pretend like
stonage.
it wasn't true. Like,
He knew he had a podcast on Friday.
No, but like I was like, oh, you had one job. I was gone for
you
3
had
days.
one job. This podcast was supposed to be up on Wednesday. Do you know what day it is today, Rob? In case you didn't remember.
He's blaming the podcast.
It's
But
Saturday.
I wasn't available.
Just
Jimbo.
being uploaded, it's Saturday.
You
had one job in Vegas.
just-
No. Don't cut me off. You had one job in Vegas. I gave you all the equipment to record said podcast. You didn't record said podcast.
Rob
you
couldn't do it
played
without
golf.
me, right? You
Rob,
couldn't do it without
you
me.
I did
played
play golf. But I also did a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And you got stoned.
I got stoned.
When
at
you
the
put
end
it
of the
that
day.
way, it sort of makes a little bit more sense why.
To my credit, I did get work done on the $500 car challenge. I don't get stoned while I still have work to do. That's retarded.
He got stoned while he was saving it.
So we missed a couple of uploads this week.
Not because I was stoned. It was because we were
But
traveling.
but we're a little bit behind on that. But now we're off to Pocono on Saturday, which is tomorrow, and we're going to be doing the event out in Pocono, which is a slipstream event, which I was hoping I was hoping to take my Corvette.
That's what I was going to ask you. So the Corvette's still in Texas?
Corvette's in Texas. I didn't want to, after shipping it down there, I didn't want to ship it back.
I hit the table, so the camera should.
Oh, no.
No, it's cool. We weren't.
So you
recording.
brought. I thought you had brought the vet to Texas, and then you brought it back here for Pocono. So the vet's still staying there.
Vet's still in Texas till
you
it's
running
done.
the
Truck
Ferrari?
is in Texas till it's done. I was going to run. Well, you're saying that because you drove past it in my driveway. The Supra, Tommy was getting the Supra ready.
Yeah.
And he was. I was under the impression there was bad gas. he seems to think that it may need a map sensor because it's breaking up a little bit, but when you pass that like initial throttle kick, it seems to rev out fine. He took it driving and like 60% throttle. It was perfectly fine. So it's probably not bad gas. He checked the plugs are all good. It's probably a map sensor or something like that. But when you're a YouTuber, you don't want to bring your car out to an event if it's not running perfectly or you're not confident it's going to run well because it's a waste of time. And I've done that before where I brought my Supra out to Pocono and it was breaking up and I was like, oh, son of a bitch, because now I just trucked the car all the way out here. So that's what happens when you have a bunch of cars. I took another one and I'm going to take the 488 out there, which is probably going to perform fairly well.
Sure.
And maybe, just maybe, there'll be some like a Ford GT, maybe the new one. McLaren 720S. Yeah, well, I mean, like any of these like cool cars. Even I just texted Street Speed 717 on the way over here to see if his ZR1 was available tomorrow.
Cool.
So
he's been ghosting me. Like he wanted me to film his call out thing, and he's completely ghosted me for the last couple weeks.
Well, if I could ghost you, I would. But
asshole.
Or maybe he called you on Thursday.
Yeah, right. Right.
Now, the bad gas in the Supra, you mean bad gas like old gas?
Old gas. It's C16 has a shelf life of like 8 years. And Tommy's like, it can't be bad. It's got like a shelf life of 8 years. I'm like, Tommy, I drove that car in like 2011.
9 years ago.
Like,
7 years ago.
It's been like we're getting there. It's not it's not unheard of. So it just whatever the issue is, I think we need just a little bit more time to make sure we get it right. And the other thing is, who am I going to race? Like, if I bring the Supra out, yay for me. But Tommy's not out there. Dom's not out there. So now it's me against, like, fictional everybody else and saying I win, nobody else is here. So I might as well bring the Ferrari because the Ferrari would make a better car to race against other high-end, like, hypercars.
The Ferrari would be consistent.
But they'll all be consistent, especially in, like, a half-mile scenario. But the Ferrari will just lay it down, and it would be cool to see. I wonder if a Ferrari 488 would beat the Ford GT. And Brooks from Drag Times, when he gets his, said we can line them up. So
there you go.
That's all stuff that I'd like to explore.
I bet you it does. I bet you the Ferrari gets the power down better than the Ford
I think
GT.
the Ferrari will beat the Ford GT.
Yeah.
I think the McLaren 720S will beat the Ferrari, and I'm sure it's a toss-up between the Huracan and the Ferrari. I'd be curious to see how those go.
Is your the 488, is that rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive?
It's rear-wheel drive.
Oh, rear-wheel drive.
And so is the 720.
Ferrari doesn't make any all-wheel drive cars, do they?
The FF.
Is the FF
The FF's
The
all-wheel
FF is
drive,
rear-wheel
like
drive.
under a certain
is it?
speed, like under 25 miles an hour.
Really?
And then as you get over that, it gauges that. Like Top Gear did the episode with the Stig. He was driving in the snow and he got stuck as soon as he went over 25 miles an hour. It's not like all-wheel drive. It just kind of connects to the front diff. I think it's got a.
I'm interested in seeing that, so I'm looking that up real quick, Glenn, just to call you out on it. Transmission.
Jeremy
bringing
Clarkson
my
did
C5.
one. And
Four-wheel drive system.
there
The
you
new
go.
four-wheel
See?
drive system,
You doubt me,
engineered and
Rob?
patented by Ferrari, called 4RM. It's around 50% lighter than
I
conventional
think it goes to
systems.
25 miles an hour.
Cool.
How many Ferraris have you had?
Have I personally had or the company?
How about let's start with you.
Yeah,
A lot.
I mean, I had
5,
four
6?
last year.
Okay. Well, I've had 0.
Oh, got it.
But I knew that answer.
Yeah, but there's a lot of weenies that know more about cars
All
than
right.
I do. I'm never gonna and like
You don't have to know. You own them.
like Jimbo was like, yeah, I know. I got that's a great W173, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
Oh, the
it's-
Mercedes.
Listen,
Yeah,
dude, come on. They're just generational names. You talk about like, oh, I have a Ferrari 360. I
Yeah,
mean,
but you're-
that's the name of the car. But like, if there was a generation of the 360s, you'd refer to it as that generation.
No, I
name,
wouldn't.
probably. Yeah, you would.
No,
think you would.
it's like the NSX. Oh, do you have the NA1 or the NA2? Who gives a shit? I've got an
Or, like,
NSX.
I mean, you wouldn't say
Because
like
you have an
pre-Focus.
NA2. That's why you don't give
Oh,
a shit.
the other
If
the
you
other
had an
guys are
NA1,
like,
you'd give a
Oh,
shit.
they're actually names of generations. I didn't know.
yeah,
that.
between 2002 and 2005, they had the second gen. That's when they went
No,
to
the
the
really?
second gen is
I was
actually
thinking of
90.
the
The second gen is
Oh,
97
95,
to 05.
97, 05.
Right. So NA1 is 91 to 95. My
Yeah.
first was a 95.
Is that the 3 to the 3.2?
Yeah, the 3.2 came in 97 and
Okay.
a 6-speed manual. So that second gen is 97 to 05. And then they just did the headlights and the front and rear bumpers and a couple other tweaks in 02. But that's
Glenn,
still
you
the
keep
second
hitting that
gen.
table. You
I know.
keep
I
shaking
gotta
your
fucking
ass.
it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the people do that with Corvettes though.
Or
Like I have a
BMW,
C4. I have a
Z46.
Well,
C5.
C4,
C39,
C5 is
M5.
very different then
I mean, it's naming the generation. That's the
yeah,
generation
but
terminology.
when you
C4,
talk
C5,
about
C6.
pedestrian cars like Mercedes-Benz, they talk about it by class. I have a
Okay, yeah.
C63. I've got so they'll give you a year in a class,
If
not a like
Sure.
a body style code. I got a W140.
Well, I mean, if you're talking to another Mercedes enthusiast, so to speak, I mean, if you tell them, "Hey,
But
I have a W140
to be
or
fair,
a W220," they know what you're talking
most
about.
people that buy Mercedes aren't enthusiasts. They're just
Correct.
buying them because they're cars.
Yes, I agree.
So
but I'm
now,
not talking
now
about
you're
it in that
becoming a
context.
weenie.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
I just like the car I own.
100%.
Rob, I just like the car I own. Go fuck off.
See, I think Rob's point
We
is
have now had to click the not safe for work box on our podcast because that is the first cuss word on the entire podcast. I'm sorry.
I don't. No.
Folks at
Glenn
home.
said I'm fucking it up. He let that
No.
I
go.
fucked it up. Oh yeah,
Oh,
is that the thing?
now?
Oh,
Oh, now we're
I
just
fucked up the camera
Now
when
we're
I hit the thing.
done. Totally. Okay. Now
No
we stand.
sponsors.
There goes the
Unmonetized.
yeah, demonetized.
We're
Not
done.
safe for YouTube consumption.
I think Rob's point is he's had 4 Ferraris last year, and we've had
That's,
0.
Well,
so
no, that's awesome though.
He could say what he wants, I guess. It's,
No, I mean, but like, there's no requirement to know everything about everything. Like,
You're right.
It's just
I
like,
just like knowing.
what's the
designation.
firing order on your Corvette? Who gives a shit?
It's not the same thing. Nobody cares about the firing order.
now
of
the
anything.
I used to know
the
it.
Ford GT Pocono, is that the new Ford GT or like an 05,
I want to race the
06?
new Ford GT.
Okay. I haven't driven the new one, but the 720S is the fastest car I've ever driven. That's a fast car.
Oh, you drove the
McLaren.
720.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, 720S is probably the fastest production car.
You got to get heat in the tires. Those tires are really sticky summer tires.
Yeah.
But
Who makes them? Pirelli?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
got the
so they're
what's-
crappy tires. Get those cup twos on there.
I drove the McLaren the 650. It was very very good.
the 720s.
They're
even
all-
quicker.
yeah, they're
The
all-
720s
They
even
drive
faster.
like
720's
computers.
faster.
Yeah, it's crazy how well
So,
built that car is.
I was just out in Las Vegas, and they had a transmission apart for a McLaren 12C.
Okay.
And it's just uncanny how similar the transmission and clutch setup is from the McLaren to the 458.
Oh really?
They're
Really?
virtually identical. Like
Really?
you look and you're like, oh, which one is? Oh, yeah, this one's got that little pin right there. So that's clearly and it's like very similar clutches, very similar transmission setup, but they're all very quick. And the dual clutch setup is essentially you're operating 2 gears at once, and just that's why you get that like instant shift.
Right.
And with the wet clutch system, it's not like a clutch where you can burn it out like the older 430s and 360s.
Right. Well,
where
those were
you-
single.
I
I'm
was
going to be right again.
Yeah. No, I mean,
And
'cause,
same thing for
yeah.
Ferrari. The 458 was the first dual clutch. For those, the F430 was a single clutch.
Rob's checking the details.
No,
But
I'm
I can
just-
tell you, the McLaren, your dual clutch is really, really good in your 488. I'd say McLaren is probably the best that I drove in the 720.
Yep.
And the 570. If you drive a 12C, it's not as good. You would think it's good unless you drive the 570 right
Sure,
after.
sure.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. I drove. The only Lamborghini I've driven was a Agordo. It was a 560 or some 500 something, whatever
LP
it was.
or
Yeah, an
whatever.
LP 560, I think
Yeah.
it was. And I was really impressed. I say it to Rob all the time when I talk about it, but the Corsa, the big thump shifts, I always like that.
I hate that. It just like kicks you in the
I've
back.
I know. I think it's cool. I love it.
I've rented Gotham Gallardos and Murcielagos.
They're not gay artos until you get them.
Gallardos. Yeah, no, I really like that.
I never really liked E-Gear. I'd like to try that. I've driven a Murcielago and stick. That was great.
Oh, you like that?
Nori's car. But yeah.
Yeah,
like
that's
that a
the
lot.
that's the.
I haven't
car
driven
wanna
a
get.
So
Gallardo
Glenn, are
and
you
stick.
coming on adventure drives this year? You just
You make
reminded
it
me.
on my daughter's birthday. July
Okay.
20th.
Yeah. It's July
told you
21st.
that
No,
last
21st
year.
to the 28th.
July
No, no, no.
21st.
Oh, it's going to be the 21st? Maybe I
It's the
could
day
go.
after.
Yeah.
Come on,
Now
Glenn.
you got to
I'm
think
going
of
to
a
be
different
working on my
excuse.
first real estate deal at my new job, so. Oh, he just sent me an email. Why are they emailing me at 10 o'clock at night?
Who knows?
Welcome to being employed.
Yo,
Yeah, I have
Rob,
a
what do you
job
think my
again.
car's
It's
going to
weird.
do
I
with
gotta-
Slipstream?
I got to start checking my email.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't even know what this Slipstream format is. Like, I
thought
don't
it
know
was
if
just
it's
a half mile race.
I don't know if it's just like side by side racing. I don't know if it's measured. I don't know if there's trap speed. I don't know what the hell it is. I just know we're on the straightaway.
Right,
Pocono.
right.
So
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. I think my car will do, if it's like standard want to go fast half mile event, I can see it doing, I'd say like, what would my car do? My old C4 did like 125, so I figure it'd do like 140 maybe.
okay.
That's my guess.
Jimbo's car is going to do 140 and a half mile. Mine did 157. I take him for a ride down in Texas, and he's like, "Wow, this thing's pretty slow."
It is. It feels slow. The gearing's very long on the car.
It's very long.
And
Yes.
which car? Which car are we driving?
My Corvette.
Oh, I haven't driven your Corvette, so.
Yes, but
yeah. When it comes in the boost, it feels fast, and I'm sure because
you got to be used to the long gears there, Jimbo.
Yeah, I like the kick in the dick torque.
Yeah, but then you just get like 383 or 410 gears, and then it's, or 373 or 410 gears.
I had
and it's
390s in my car before I blew it up, and it was fun. Like every gear.
Yeah, but now you're in fifth gear. I mean, that's one of the problems I had with like the Nobles and all these other cars, that they're geared so tightly. Or a Lotus Elise, you're like, oh, cool. I'm cruising along. I'm in sixth gear, and you look down, you're doing 110, and it's like, all right, well, you're not really going that fast.
Yeah.
The combination of power and gearing is where it's at.
Yeah. No.
Then not only do you feel like you're going fast, but you're actually going fast. There's a difference.
My problem is like you get a car that it takes a long time to really get into it. I like when it's short because I can have more fun at a lower speed for the simple fact that the faster you go, the more trouble you get in. I learned that the very
Good
hard
point.
way. I'm getting kicked off my insurance, by the way.
For
Yeah.
speeding?
Well, it's his dad's insurance.
Yeah.
He was on it.
My
He was
parents'
pulling
policy.
the like, I live at home. I'm on my dad's insurance. But then after,
Well, no, I was still a registered driver. It wasn't like my insurance didn't know I was driving. This was all like I was a registered driver on the car. It was just in my dad's name because it was cheaper that way.
correct. And then like Jimbo got some tickets and
5 tickets in November.
gave
5 tickets in November. What, going back and forth to Maryland? or-
Yeah, Pennsylvania, Delaware. I hit 'em all.
filming. You were in Ohio too for that.
81 and a 25 in Ohio. That
Yeah.
was a great one.
Did you
81 and
handle that yet?
25?
Yeah, no, that was just he just wrote me for the speeding.
No, I know. But did you get?
Oh, yeah, no, I paid it.
Sorted.
81 and a 25? you just said?
Yeah, it was
So-
a road that someone told me. Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. Just floor it. Go ahead. And there was a cops like nestled in a burrow of this little.
Well, was it like
road.
Needless
an
to
open
say
road? Like
that-
not
Yeah,
by
nothing-
any
nothing.
houses?
Let-
or-
let's
No, it
just
was on a residential.
let's just say they did a random snapshot of Jimbo's driving record and decided that he is no longer eligible to be on his father's.
It's going to be a lot more expensive being on your own.
I know. It's
With that
terrible.
driving record,
Yeah.
good luck.
Maryland uninsurables.
Yeah, yeah. You go into what they have is called a state fund,
Yeah.
and
Everyone pools their stuff together, right? It's not just one
well,
company.
no. Each company is responsible for taking. They're
Sure.
ultra high risk people, and each company is responsible for taking a portion of that. And you may end up with the same company that just told you they don't want you. It's sort of like a lottery system. They assign these people
Sure.
at like a maximum dollar amount that they could be charged to these different things. But very easily, you could be out there driving a $2,000 car and paying $600 a month for insurance. So you could be paying
Yeah.
5x the value of your car and your insurance every month, which sucks.
Yep.
But you earn that, right?
Yeah. Were you? How long did it take you to get into that pool? Because I know damn well you were there.
I don't think I ever.
No,
was
you
in
never
that
got into
pool.
the high risk pool.
I don't think so. I know I used to pay a lot, but I had like my Camaro and my Corvette on the insurance.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, and I was like, yeah, this is my daily, and this is my. But there's like the Camaro is the daily, and the
Yeah,
Corvette,
yeah.
and then a bunch of tickets. Never had any accidents, but my insurance was still high just because I was young and driving a new Corvette.
Yeah, my problem is I have had accidents. I had one in the Altima, and then I had one in the C5.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows about the C5. You haven't told anyone yet.
No, nobody knows about the C4.
Well, now they do because you
No,
just said
there
it.
is nothing about the C4. I didn't say anything.
If you're a bad driver, maybe you shouldn't be speeding.
Dude, so all right, let's just recap.
That's the first
he,
thing.
He has now listed 3 accidents, one on each
I
of
didn't
those
say there was
cars.
an accident with the C4. I
All right.
said there. I said there was an incident. I didn't say there was an accident.
Okay,
well,
so-
isn't accidents worse than speeding tickets?
Let's just say, wait. Let's say 3 accidents and then 3 motorcycle dumps. That's 6 uncontrolled
I've had
stops for
yeah.
Jimbo in the
I've
span
had
of like a year and a half.
I've had a rough.
So now
last
him
year.
missing Thursday doesn't seem so bad, right?
Yeah, 6
There you go.
unscheduled stops in your vehicle inside 16 months is not as stellar. And then couple that with a bunch of big speeding tickets in
Yeah.
the month. I'd be amazed he still has a license.
That's what I mean. So how many days since he's been working for you? How many days has he missed? So maybe that's not so bad if he misses.
He usually
a day
just
once
runs a
in
little
while.
late. Yeah.
Rob.
You're saying
I do
people
run
run
late.
late? Are you saying
What's
people run late?
I was
Yeah.
literally about to say because, like, I mean,
What?
you could say anything about me being late, but Rob, you were routinely.
I was going
an
to say,
hour
Rob,
late.
Yeah,
usually
but
late.
can
This
I
is the first time
explain
you got
how-
here before me.
how-
Can you explain
the-
why you're late? No, you can't.
The
Because
boss is never late. the
Right.
boss.
That's
Everything starts when the
Well,
boss.
I
gets
think
there.
people who are bosses are always late. I don't think I've ever had a boss who wasn't always late.
And that's where the phrase "like a boss" comes in.
No, I mean, like, I don't have a problem with you being late. At this point, I'm used to it. But it's when I have other things to do, because I
Like
do.
smoking doobies.
That's what I mean.
No,
Well, at least
not
he's
even.
not driving.
No, not
I'd
even.
rather he be doing
Oh,
that
how
than out
about
there
how about
driving.
editing your $500 car challenge that still isn't done?
How's that going?
It's going. It's
costs-
not done yet,
Now,
though.
let's pull up a preview of it
Let's
right
not.
here for me and
We're
Glenn.
not going
yeah.
to. I'm good.
Yeah.
It costs more than $500.
I have
right?
nothing I want
Jimbo
to show
blazing is what's going to be the video.
Now we've been doing this podcast, you and I, over 2 years, right? I think this
Yep.
is the first time that you've been here before me, and
Yeah.
only could I text Jimbo, "Is Rob there yet?"
Oh, I couldn't, dude. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it when I pulled up and Rob was already here. I was like, "This is a miracle."
Yeah, but you're forgetting that there's things that I have, like a wife and kids.
So do I.
And even here, while I was here, I was working, producing invoices and stuff.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and
Billy Joel
screenshots
music.
for Shout Engine.
screenshots for Shout Engine.
Yeah. It took
So
you a day and a half for that.
anyway, I want to get back, and we jumped out of order here. Jimbo's going to put some time codes here in the.
I could.
And we're going to start talking about Texas because we were just down in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard us allude,
Texas was good.
reference the $500 car challenge. Now, let's just say Texas is an interesting place. They have some. They're very not conservative. How would you say it? They're very forgiving with their
Full
laws.
of pride.
No, they give you like more freedom down there in Texas. You feel freer.
That's good for Jimbo.
Like
right?
Jimbo got pulled over.
Jimbo should live in Texas.
Yeah,
right?
Jim-
Oh yeah, I got pulled over. I completely forgot about
Jimbo
that.
got pulled over in my unregistered, uninsured car, and they
Oh,
let
the
him drive away without a
car?
ticket. Yeah,
The
they let him
$500
drive
car?
away without a ticket. So
Yeah. No, that was bad. Like, I mean, I pulled up to a stoplight, and it's too bad I don't have a camera. I don't have another one to put up. But I pulled up to a stoplight, and I watched a cop pull out of a shopping center. And my buddy's sitting next to me, and he's filming. And I'm thinking to myself, this cop's gonna yank me. And I didn't want my filmer to put up a camera to the rearview
Sure.
mirror because I figured that's just one more reason for him to pull me over.
Yeah.
So as soon as the light turns green, lights me up, and I tell him, whip out the camera. He turns on the camera. I get pulled over, and I'm sitting here. I put my seatbelt on because it wasn't on, because it almost feels
Should
safer
always wear your
driving.
seatbelt.
I know, but in that car, it almost felt safer not wearing the seatbelt.
you would like to be ejected in the crash, so nobody knows you were driving.
You're hysterical. No, but driving that car, it was a complete rat trap, absolute rat trap. But the cop walks up to me. I'm trying to think of what the hell I'm going to say to this cop, and I just make up some bullshit story about, it was, we just bought it 4 hours ago, and it's my boss's car. You always pull the boss's car line. That's a good one. Immediately direct.
Well,
from
to be
yourself.
fair, it was legally operated in Texas. You have 30 days to register
Oh,
it,
do you
so
really?
you can drive on somebody else's
That
plate.
thing wasn't registered even
And-
remotely close the last
No.
time. Like, he was just like, this isn't registered and insured anywhere.
Well, no, and then the insurance, you're not required to add it to your insurance because I went to do that and they said no, as long as you have insurance for 30 days, like you can use, like if you're insured on another vehicle,
Right.
Yeah.
that
Gotta
carries
carry
over
you
to
like
a purchase
rental
for
car,
that
almost like
temporary period. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's like hell yeah, Texas right there. That's all good stuff. So some things I learned, right? Texas is big,
Big Texas.
and nobody wears cowboy hats in Dallas except for me.
Not in Dallas. In Amarillo, they did because I was there.
And
not
yeah, they said
Dallas.
Fort Worth they wear cowboy
Yeah.
hats, but I was in Dallas, and Dallas to me is a place where people wear cowboy hats. So I wore a cowboy hat to try to fit in.
The one
no.
you had last time, right? Did
Nope,
you have it
got
for
a
the
new
podcast?
cowboy
Oh, you got
hat
a new
because
one?
my friend down in Texas told me that that's not the type of hat that they wear
Oh.
down there. So I went to Buc-ee's and got my own hat,
Uh-huh.
which ultimately got eaten by 2 dogs.
Mm.
But that's another story.
That video will go up at some point soon.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
already edited, all ready to go. Yeah, it's up.
Jimbo's going to show us that video in a minute.
I can show you that video. It's on
Um,
that computer though.
So I went in to the bar one night wearing my cowboy hat, wearing my what do you call the Texas shirt? I had like that Texas button up shirt.
You just had a button-down short sleeve shirt.
Yeah, but it's like a Texas one.
I don't know if there's a
And
difference. but-
underneath I had my Superman logo, but with the Texas colors on it. And I had a flask in my pocket because Texas. And
America.
went to the bar.
America.
Said, I'll have a scotch on the rocks, please.
Mm-hmm.
Gave me a Budweiser. All right. And I figured I'd test him. Like, could I make it a double? Gave me another Budweiser. So I took the hint right there. And Budweiser's it was. That was my drink of choice. But, yeah, I think it's because I was wearing a cowboy hat and they needed me representing Texas the way it should be. Everybody else must have been a tourist there because they were not wearing cowboy hats. It was just me.
Of course.
Weren't you a tourist there?
Nope. No, I was a local. Everybody saw it. He was like, that guy's a local. I bet you parked a horse outside. And on top of that, we ran into the fighter that beat Conor McGregor. Nate Diaz was there. When I say we ran into him, he was just there. He wasn't like...
Taking your cowboy hat.
He was actually checking out my cowboy hat because apparently the girl that he likes was the one who I was talking to. And he was all about like, and she's like, oh, that's the UFC fighter guy. And I was like, oh, yeah, I see him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you want me to go kick his ass? And she's like, no. And I wouldn't do that. And we're in different weight classes, so that wouldn't be cool. But
because of that.
Yeah, because of that.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason.
And I don't know. I'd feel it would be weird because I'd have to go talk shit like Conor McGregor.
You might knock your hat off and your hat.
Yeah, and then I'm wearing a cowboy hat, so I
Yeah.
can't be like, "Fuck you, Nate." I can't do the
You
Irish
lost the
with
receipt.
it.
You
Yeah.
can't return it.
Yeah, what the fuck? You're riding my coattails. So that's not gonna happen. But I let him slide that night. And I left Texas. And Texas, except and my hat no longer with us. Oh, I got this cool mug, but instead of like a handle, it's got a gun. So I've got this little gun handle mug. But
It's
Texas
rad.
Texas was fun. The goal obviously was to get my truck painted, was to get my Corvette finished, and
That
to
didn't happen.
None of those
get
happened.
Lou's Corvette finished. But we did blow up my Camaro, so that was a good time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw I think it was your Instagram post. It looked like you were driving a Camaro.
I was driving a
Yeah.
Camaro, yeah, 95.
Yeah, I said that looked like a '90s Camaro.
Yep, and
F-body.
it actually did well. It did rip some decent burnouts.
Dude, no, that
So
thing,
was it a
I was
V8 or
surprised.
V6?
It was V6.
V6,
Okay, I
yeah,
was gonna say, you
automatic
probably can't
V6.
get- Oh, automatic.
like my first Camaro.
That was your first Camaro.
I had a 99, and it was silver with T-tops, automatic V6. I was loving that car. I thought it was so badass.
Fish
Yeah.
Marrow.
Yeah, because I was 19, so I was like, this is awesome. I'm so badass. I got
Cool.
such a fast car. Look at the Corvette does 0 to 60 in 4.5. Mine does it in 5.1. That's half a second. How close is that?
You know how
Yeah.
many people told me like, yeah, Rob's fucking sniffing something? You think that's bullshit?
What?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think it's that
because
fast,
Rob said that in the documentary I did on him long ago. You said the same thing,
Yeah.
and I had multiple people after that video came out say, "Dude, why Rob like the
Yeah, I don't
Corvette's
think
not
the
that
I
fast?
don't
The
think
V6 isn't that fast.
Camaro
close
was
to
that
the
fast.
V8.
Automatic.
Look it up.
Google.
It was only 0 to 60, not quarter mile, just 0 to
I
60.
know what
Yeah, I
you're
don't
saying,
think
but
it's that
like
fast.
people were like,
I
"Oh,
think
there's
the
no way the
V8 probably
V6 was
that
that fast."
Because that was a bigger, heavier car. Well, when I was 19, I had an old Camaro. I had an '84 Z28.
Ooh, IROC, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, no. IROC came in '85. I had '84.
Oh well, it was the right
and
body
IROCs
style though.
were pretty much automatics. If you had a 350, they were automatic.
That was the mullet car.
Okay.
Yeah,
If
IROC
you
was.
owned that car and didn't have a mullet,
But my
something
car
was
was
wrong.
so '80s. It had louvres on it.
Oh, perfect.
It was red with the black.
Did you tint out the taillights to black?
It was, and the T-tops were
Oh,
black.
perfect.
And that car broke down every day. It left me stranded in college countless times.
That's cool.
It overheated. So the guy modified the car, and he didn't know what he was doing, so I'd never buy a modified car again. He actually had to turn the fan on manually.
Oh,
and
so
I could
it's
say
fine.
since I was 19, I forgot a couple times to turn that fan on.
Yeah.
and I
Yep.
overheated.
Yeah, no, I learned the hard way. Don't buy a modified car.
Yeah, but that car was fast. That car had like headers.
Oh, it says
had
you're right.
caps.
I must have been when I was
Yeah.
at the dealership. I probably compared it to the.
You were smoking the Kush.
Rob, you were wrong on everything. With
It was-
Ferraris
it
and
was
all-wheel
6
drive.
It was 6.8 seconds.
I was gonna say
It's a slow pile.
I would have
that's
said
what it
7 seconds for that car if I had to guess.
Well, 6.8 seconds.
Close
versus,
enough.
that's a bigger gap. The
The V8 was probably in the
let's
fives.
see, 99 Camaro. I'll just say with the SS. Was there a normal? It was just the
was.
SS,
I think it was
right?
there
The
was
SS
the SS
came
and
in the late
Z28, right?
90s. The SS was like 98, I think.
I know there was a Z28 and there was an SS. There was a difference.
Yeah, the SS came late.
All right, let's try-
Regardless,
let's try.
those late model F bodies, that's like the cheapest way to get an LS1 now.
Sure.
Like, I mean, they're starting to become few and far between, and the prices are starting to go up a little bit, especially the WS6. You cannot find
Trans Am. Yeah.
Yeah, the Trans Ams, you can't find them, even though they're the exact same car.
Yep.
But No, they're nice. They're decent cars. It's a giant piece of plastic,
Right.
but it's a very cheap way to get into the LS game.
Yep, I always wanted one of those Trans Ams.
Yeah, now they look good, but
Let's
the
see.
interior it looks like something out of a Grand
Oh,
Caravan.
it does. It is.
It's so bad.
Like the leather in there is like.
It's
literally-
Oh, yeah,
leather.
here it
It's-
is.
It's
Plastic.
impact molding.
vinyl.
It's not fucking.
So yeah, the 99, 98, 98, not 99, but 98 Z28
Yeah.
was 0 to 60 in 5.1.
Yeah.
So that's I was probably comparing
Salesman
the
lied to you.
I was probably comparing the Corvette to the Camaro purchase
Yeah.
decision. I ended up going with a Camaro instead, and then I went with the vagina engine.
Well, your
Because they
Corvette was
look
like,
the same.
I think, what was it, 97, 98, 98?
No, you had a
My
2001,
Corvette was
right?
no one.
Oh, one.
let's see,
So that
yeah.
was like 4.7,
Hold on, I
4.8?
think it was like 4.5 or something.
It
It
could
was
have
pretty badass.
I think in 97 it was like 4.7, and then they bumped up the horsepower once or twice.
Okay, so the 2001 Corvette Coupe 4.7 0 to 6. So
there you go. What did I
yeah.
say? I said
Yeah, yeah.
4.7.
Rob,
No, but-
nail on the head right
but
there.
right
Else you
right
need to know,
there,
Rob.
right there, we're talking. It is 0.4 of a second faster than the Camaro. So it's not a big, like if you were doing a purchase decision, you'd be like, hey, it's really pretty much the same thing.
Right.
So
Not to you who had the V6 automatic, but to the guy
yeah,
who
but
had
I
the
mean,
V8.
for a guy who's got no money, who's looking to get the most, the most
and if you need a
awesomeness
back
out of his
seat,
money.
that's a two-seater.
True. No, the Vet's 2-seater versus the 4-seater Camaro.
Right.
But yeah, I get there was some. I like the T-tops. There's a lot of stuff
Yep.
going on there.
Camaro was heavier.
Camaro was
And that-
heavier, but
so
but
that-
it's still, as far as 0 to 60 time, which was like a measurable statistic.
Yeah, it would
back
come
then.
down to driver.
Now it's like 0 to 60 in 1.9, and it's like
Right.
it's just like faster than you can think. But on that note, we're gonna take a quick break. Quick word from our sponsors of today's podcast, and we'll be right back. So there's things I do every day. One of those things is putting underwear on. Now, Sheath Underwear helps cover my ass, especially in these podcasts, by sponsoring us. And now they can take care of your ass too. Now, Sheath Underwear is a premium underwear. It's not your dad's tidy whities. It's not your old pair of boxers that you got in high school that you should have thrown away 5 years ago that you still wear. It's good premium underwear. Their thing is that you can put your balls and your shaft into a little pouch in the front. Makes you look huge. Huger. I mean, it's all you, but it looks good. But it also keeps your balls from rubbing against your legs or sweating. And that skin to skin, it's not a good thing. You don't really want it. And it's a good, comfortable underwear. It looks good. It feels good. And it's functional, and it makes your sack not sweat. So that's something to check out. You can check out their website, sheathunderwear.com. You can enter promo code SPEED. That'll save you 25% off your first order. And I promise, once you get Sheath Underwear, you're going to be ordering more and more pairs. So I'd probably get at least 3 to start, because you're not going to want to wear the same pair every 7 days or wash them every other day. It gets a little awkward with underwear. So, man, it's not a pair of jeans. You can't just get away with wearing the same pair of jeans 4 days in a row. Underwear, you can't do that, no matter how much you like them. So check out sheathunderwear.com, and you can use the promo code SPEED and save yourself 25%. I guarantee once you start wearing them, you're not going to wear anything else. I don't. So there's things you never want to do in the car world. You never want to not buy a car because you're afraid of the maintenance costs. And you also don't want to be fearful when you buy a car of driving it because you don't want to break it. Two of those things, it ruins the ownership experience. So how do you fix that? Well, there's a company called eAuto Warranty, and eAuto Warranty will sell you a warranty. You pay monthly just like you would for your car insurance, and it relieves the stress and anxiety of having a big maintenance repair. And that's something, I mean, they cover the smaller stuff too, but obviously that doesn't keep you up at night. The stuff that you're concerned about is a pilot bearing failure or something that everyone talks about as a possibility. And you're like, ooh, I don't want to have to pay for a transmission rebuild on that. Well, eAuto Warranty will cover it. So check it out. You can go to eautowarranty.com. You can enter your car in. You can get a free online quote, or you can enter a car you're interested in, or like, oh, one of those Maseratis I've always liked. See what it would cost. It may make sense to you. It may not, but it will allow you, if you do go ahead with it, to sleep easy at night. I'm telling you, the proof is in the pudding here. I had a warranty that I was paying for 4 months, and they covered that means they made $300 off me, and they paid for a $2,400 repair. So It's good. It's nice to have. It's good to have in your back pocket if you ever need it. You don't have to renew it after the first year. You can just do it on a yearly basis. But I'm telling you, once you have it, you're going to love it. And especially when you get your money's worth out of that repair, you're going to be happy you made that choice. So check them out, eautowarranty.com. You can get a free quote for your vehicle or one that you're interested in purchasing. All right, and we're back. So thank you guys very much for checking out the sponsors. They're well worth checking out, and we appreciate them taking part in these podcasts and allowing us to bring them to you. So where we left off, we were in Texas. We did that. We talked about my raging Camaro, and then
What color was it?
it was silver.
Okay.
And
No, the one in Texas is red. That's what you're just talking
Oh,
about.
you're talking about my old
I thought
Camaro
you
or
were
the
just
one we
talking
just?
about the one in
The
Texas.
one we're talking about in Texas.
Oh, Texas one was
you were
red.
just telling the Texas
It was
story.
a 95. So that was
So your car was silver.
mine was
that you
silver, the
owned.
98, 99, whatever year it was. But yes, this was a red car, and
T-top, solid roof.
it was solid roof. And so ultimately, I think it's one of the bigger underestimations we've ever had with these, which we thought it would be a cool bit to like go. We raced them, we jumped them, we took them off roading, we did all that the
usual.
tomfoolery, and then I'm like, you know what? Let's we're in Texas, let's go shoot this thing. Let's blow the roof off.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went down to Hennessy Performance in Sealy, Texas, and he's got some guys that loaded it up with some tannerite. And I'm like, yeah, but we want the roof to blow off, so we figured like we'll cut the roof off so it'll actually blow off. Because when we did the last $500 car challenge, whatever it was, we tried to blow the roof off of Rob Dom's Cadillac, and we put a quarter stick of dynamite like on the thing in the back, blew the speakers down and blew out the windows.
Oh,
but
wow.
like all the energy
Yeah.
traveled out the path of least resistance.
Gotcha.
So we figured let's like cut the roof off so it'll actually
Right,
fly
it'll
off,
go
because
up.
it'll be attached but not by much.
Yeah.
And so we went back, we did the blast radius, and we're like, all right, we'll go back this far. And I was like, man, like, what pussies, we should be so much closer. Like, we're going to get terrible footage from all the way back here. Then John Hennessy grabbed his AR, popped a round through the tannerite, and just debris flying past us in every direction.
Wow.
Now, it's like, it's cool because it's not flying as fast as a bullet, so you see it coming at you, so you have...
Oh,
if you're not a sloth, you have
Yeah.
a reaction time, and like you can duck away from it.
Yeah.
But it was a legit explosion, and suffice to say, there was nothing left of the car, and we probably didn't have to waste the Sawzall blades taking the roof off. I think that was a foregone conclusion without having to modify the roof or the. Anyway, the idea that we would then sell the cars. After that, I thought it would be cool to drive like the convertible Camaro, then to CarMax and offload the thing at CarMax. My car burnt to the ground right where it's at. That was the last, like, parking that car was.
Was there gasoline in it?
There was gasoline. In
Okay.
it. I timed it fairly well. I didn't want to, and when I was gassing it up, I'm like, I'm not going to fill it up. We should have enough to get there.
Yeah.
Now, my gas gauge didn't work. The guy told me it worked. It said it was a tank and a half the entire time after I did fill it up. But
A tank and a half,
Yeah.
so
tank and a
more
half,
than full.
deep. But like I bought it, and,
Really?
and within the first 20 minutes of ownership, I'm like, this thing's like acting up. And then sure enough, it runs out of gas. Like when we went to go shoot an intro, and we're like, okay, we pulled into this parking lot. All right, this is way too sketchy. I think there's people doing drugs here and homeless people, and it was really like seedy. And we're like, all right, let's get out of here. And of course, my freaking car doesn't start. So
We pushed you
Tommy pushed me a couple of blocks, maybe half a mile.
right past the police station.
And then we're like, why are there so many cops around here? And then as I walk in, after we get to the pump, as I walk in, it was funny how he had to do it, and like he like nudged me, but then there was a cop coming the other direction, so then he like let off, so there was a gap between the cars, and
So it didn't look like you were
so it didn't look like he was pushing me. And then as I'm walking in, I glance over to my right, and there's a freaking police station right there. The entire like federal police building is right there. We pushed right past, like we're on the cameras of it pushing like right through. But
and then we shot the intro like right next to it.
and then we shot the intro right there. So, yeah. So that was a fun time down in Texas. Then I went out to Vegas. I hit up Speed Vegas this past week.
Oh yeah.
And I went over to a shop, as I was mentioning with the Ferrari and McLaren transmissions. I went over to a shop that specializes in like rebuilding old parts. Speedway Sports Cars LLC, and they don't even have a website, but they've got a good reputation, and the people who know to go to them. Paul is the guy who runs it. Giuseppe is the mechanic there, but he's also the guy who fixed and cleaned up my Corvette after it caught fire at the Speedway. So he had it looking proper, and that was good. Swapped out the wires, did all that fun stuff. But they've got dozen engines and transmissions, and they put them together and they shelve them, and it's all good stuff. Now they're building simulators. They're working on McLaren, Lamborghini, Ferrari, so all the right cars.
Cool.
And I just put a video up yesterday, I think, and it was sort of giving people up. Like when if you have a catastrophic failure in one of these cars, you're going to get big numbers, and you're not going to be happy with those numbers.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to know shops like that. And the people in the know them, but it's important to know shops like that because that saves you. I mean, you're talking, oh, cool, I just saved $15,000. And saving $15,000 when you're like, if you don't care about saving $15,000, you're the guy who's driving cars under warranty.
Yeah.
If you're not driving an exotic car under warranty, I assure you, saving $15,000 sounds like a good time.
That's why I'm always afraid. Like I could sell my 8 cars and get one of those exotics, but I'm always afraid of those.
One of those exotics. Which one?
I mean, you could do
I'd say I can get a McLaren 570 or
570 is $200,000. You have $200,000 cars.
What's that?
You have cars that are close to that. 570 you get for $150,000 now.
Yeah, well, I could say I sold all 8 cars. Maybe I can get a 650
Could
or
you get a Carrera
720.
GT?
No, they're like 7.
Sixes? Do you have 600?
If I sold all my
cars,
it's probably worth 4.
Okay, so that gets you in the Aventador.
Yeah,
488 Speciales.
720S.
Yeah, 458 Speciale. I mean, you got a good range of cars there.
Yeah, great range of cars.
Yeah.
But I'd be afraid of getting that $50,000 transmission bill.
Yeah,
or
You
something.
could still get a big bill in any one of your cars.
Part of the youthful ignorance, but I mean, why not just get like a warranty for it?
You can.
Yeah. I mean, if you get I don't know.
Well, it's going to expire at some point.
Yeah, it's if you keep in the car for 10 years, then you're spending $3,000 a year. Now you're spending the same $30,000 you would spend if you just wait for the failure.
Right.
So.
And if I got one of those
Makes sense.
cars for that, it's going to depreciate, 50%. Maybe not a
If
Speciale.
you drive them,
but,
the thing about your cars, you get to drive them more and do stuff like
and
that.
They pretty much hold their value.
Sure.
Give or take.
Nice, yeah. So
One day, I think about that. Like, I'll tell you, my cars have been in storage since Thanksgiving with this 6 months of winter we've been
there was
having.
a couple nice days,
Yeah.
and it's funny. Like my usual spots, I'll go out, and then on the nice days, they're just loaded, and I'm like, come on. Like,
But the nice days for over the winter had salt on the ground. There.
I wanna
Like, I don't take my
open a
cars out for
spot where
salt.
people can come and get coffee and chill, and like just like
Yeah.
a car oriented place,
I'll find you a
like a
building.
Route 66. Yeah, find a little like side of the road
Yeah.
coffee prosciutto shop. I want to come up with like a coffee sandwich shop.
That would be cool.
Tell me your price range off the air, and I'll find something for you.
I mean, I'd want to lease it. Actually, no, I'd get a bank note on it because I'd want to own it, because I think that would be cool. Like, and we can even not immediately, but like ideally, if there's a place to go where people can go get a nice cup of coffee or something, and it's a car scene. There's always cars sort of there. I could definitely see
You
this.
can run car shows out of it too, or like meetups and whatnot.
Yeah, meets, car shows. It just becomes a destination. Maybe you have a little podcast studio people can rent out.
Yeah, we're going to need one. We're going to need a podcast. When this is under construction, we're going to need a podcast studio.
So there's updates across the board, but updates coming on that Gotham Dream Cars warehouse thing.
Sweet.
So I'll tell you that off the air, but we had some good movement this week as we were coming up against a hard deadline. So there should be an update video soon, and I think I can do that without throwing too many sticks in the fire.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So,
finally.
yeah, no, it's been a minute. It's been, I don't know, well over a year. But so we've got that. So I was in Vegas. I did Speed Vegas out there while I was out there. That was fun. I don't know if you've ever done.
No.
Well, we're gonna do it on Adventure Drive, so you'll be able to do a couple of laps out there when you come out.
Are we actually?
Is Speed Vegas?
Yeah, we're doing.
Oh yeah, we're going to Vegas, right? Of course.
We are. We're staying at the Mandarin Oriental in Las Vegas, and
For adventure drives.
for adventure drives, and we're going to Speed Vegas, and everyone's gonna be able to race cars.
Cool.
So vroom vroom. I
Sounds
wonder
awesome.
since it's all timed if we should like. Oh no, because people are driving different cars. I was gonna say we can give like a prize out to something.
I mean,
Well, it's similar to I did your dream car tour a couple times at Gotham, so it's similar to that, but on a racetrack, right? Where you drive each of the cars.
It is a full blown racetrack.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where they just had that accident, right?
was there an accident?
Yeah, somebody
Oh, it was a
killed.
while ago. Yeah, they had an Aventador that crashed and burned, so to speak.
Yeah, but somebody was killed, right? One of the instructors. was
The
killed
instructor and the driver.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
last year.
Let's see. And then from there, Speed Vegas. I played golf. That's what Jimbo
Yeah, I saw
pointed
your
out. That I
golf.
played golf
it
in
must have
Vegas.
been on Instagram or something.
Yeah. I had some meetings while I was out there, and then I came back. Now, and as I said, I stopped over at Speedway Sports Cars. On top of all of that, I just got back. I took the red eye, which is like the worst
Yeah,
flight
can you
ever.
sleep on a plane? I can't sleep on a plane.
I can. So
Yeah.
I was first class. I upgraded, not paid.
Mhm.
And I was in first class, and it's the flight. My flight was 11:55 p.m. Right. So the 11:55 flight gives you all day in Vegas. You don't have
Right.
to spend the money on the hotel,
Yep.
and you get back the next day. Because otherwise, you're not getting back till like mid-afternoon or something like that. If you take the early morning flight, you're getting back. Like even if you take like the 6 a.m. flight out of Vegas, which
right,
sucks.
because of the time difference.
Yeah, I mean you have to add 3 hours. It's really like leaving at 8, and you don't get back to like 1, 2 in the afternoon. So your day is shot anyway.
Right.
But since I was traveling all the previous week, I wanted to get home, so my wife wasn't by herself with the kids. So I came back, and it's just such a shitty flight. Every time I do it, I say I'm never doing this again. And you fly back, and like I fell asleep like before you take off. In first class they give you like, does anyone want to drink? Everybody's like, give me a fucking.
Yeah.
I was like Scotch,
That's
Bloody
why you're
Marys.
there. That's why you're there.
So no, it's not why you're there. But I
Yeah.
was like, I pounded the Scotch, and I'm like, cool. Now I'll go right out. I'll pass
Uh-huh.
out. And I did. I drank it, and probably within minutes of taking off, if not during takeoff. Probably it was after I took off because I reclined my seat and
Yeah.
just out. And then you wake up that prepping for final approach 30 minutes before
Mhm.
landing, but the flight's only like 4 hours and 20 minutes. So you're getting like 3.5 to 3 hours and 45 minutes worth of sleep for the night,
Right.
and that's not enough.
Yeah.
And so now on 3.5, maybe if you're like awesome, 4 hours of sleep, and then you got to do what? You get in a rush hour traffic, and it takes me an hour and a half to get home, and you just want to like slam your head into a wall. Am I doing this? And it's a rough flight.
Yeah. My biggest problem with long flights are like overnight flights. I don't have an issue with getting in late. My issue is when I do sleep, it's not quality sleep,
Jimbo
Like-
sleeps all the time.
I do sleep all the time. I enjoy my my sleeps when I can get them in.
Because he's high, right? That's why.
Yeah, 'cause
it's-
that's what you do. You get
no,
high
it's-
and you take a
I
nap.
no, it's because I work till like 4:30 in the morning most nights, or 3:30 in the
Stone
morning.
bag.
Because he's high, he can't sleep.
No, that has
Boom.
nothing to do with it
Bottom.
at all.
Boom.
No, just I work really, really late. I'm not a morning person, so anytime I can get any kind of sleep, that's great.
He can't get
Because I
high.
overwork myself. It's not very good for me. But
He can't get high on the plane, so he can't get a good
Never
night's
get
sleep.
high on your own supply.
yeah, but I'm not a dealer though. That doesn't make
It's
sense.
the 10 crack commandments.
The 10
that's-
crack commandments.
Yeah.
I don't do crack. Do you do crack, Rob?
You looking to buy, Jimbo?
Now we just take that bit out of context, and we'll be good.
People never take things out of context, Jimbo.
What are you
I've learned
talking
that.
about, Rob? What do you
I'm-
mean you've learned that? That
I'm-
was the whole like
I'm just kidding.
PewDiePie scandal
Oh, I don't even know. I just got.
when the Wall Street Journal made
All
themselves
right,
look like
Jimbo,
morons.
don't eat any salad. If you have chopped lettuce in your fridge and you're not sure if it's romaine, throw it away.
Oh, I heard about that. Actually.
Big
When in
E.
doubt, throw
coli,
it
E.
out.
coli said if you got romaine lettuce, just throw it away.
I heard about that. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. There was that the egg recall, right? 500 million eggs,
Okay.
and it's like if it's any of these 20 brands.
When was this?
I don't know.
I don't
like
remember an
2
egg
weeks. It was
recall.
like a week ago. There
Oh,
was.
boy.
Look it up.
For Easter?
No, it was,
No.
it was like it was within the last like 7 or 10 days,
Okay.
and it was like 500 million eggs, potentially like salmonella, something like that.
Oh.
And it showed like 15 different brands or 20 different brands, and it just shows you they all came out of the same facility.
Yeah.
Of
So
course.
like all these people are marketing the same damn eggs, and it just shows you how stupid we are as consumers.
all come from the same fucking place.
Yeah.
Different labels though.
different labels. So, but we're dumb enough to fall for it.
So what else are we doing in adventure drives, Rob?
Whoa! Look at the segue action right there from Jimbo Best.
I mean, we didn't have anything else to talk about. We're talking about fucking food poisoning at this point, so.
Well, I mean, that's pretty important stuff.
I mean, but it's
what if
not-
somebody's sitting there munching on a salad right now and be like, I just
Well,
saved
then
his life?
They got the memo now. They're
I
good.
know, and that's
Now
why I
they
wanted
got
to
the
make
memo.
sure everybody's.
So let's do the segue thing. But seriously, I'm curious. What else? Because I don't know all the specifics of adventure drives, and I'm filming on it, so I'm curious. I know Vegas now.
So yeah, Adventure Drives. It's starting and Jimbo's working on the edit for Adventure Drives.
3 and 4. Well,
3
I don't
and
have
4.
4 yet.
He didn't finish 3. He almost finished 3.
Yeah, but then it was ass. It was terrible.
He almost finished 3 in Munich, and he showed a rough draft of it, and he said it'll be done in 2 weeks. And that was last
he got
October.
high,
That was
right?
last September. Yeah, then he got high.
You guys are
It's just strippers and marijuana. And
that was my first strip club. That was cool.
his first strip club was in Munich, and somebody threw like 50 euros at some chick to sit on his face.
That
or
was
something like
Scott.
that. Scott, yeah.
Neener.
Scott
Yeah.
Neener. So
God bless him.
Jimbo became a man real quick. And then we've got so that was Europe. So he was supposed to finish it then. He didn't finish that yet, so he's working on that. And then we got to edit all of Adventure Drives 8004, which in Jimbo's credit, he hasn't received the footage from yet because JF's been hibernating and sticking that drive somewhere.
Almost every single clip of the teaser he came out with.
Well, you
was
don't
live footage.
You don't know that was a teaser for 8004,
which is not going to come
J-
anyway. 'cause
J-
JF won't fucking finish it.
Jimbo just an 8005 teaser because we do have like 9 spots left for that trip. And speaking of that trip, the trip starts July 21st. Hotel Talisa in Vail, Colorado.
Yep.
From there, we go to Telluride, drive the $1 Million Highway in Colorado. Then we go to Monument Valley, which is on the Arizona-Utah border.
Yep.
Then from there, we go to Page, Arizona, which is a place called Lake Powell Resort, which is where we're staying.
Sweet.
And then we're going to Lower Antelope Canyon, which is a crack in the ground, and Horseshoe Bend, which is also very, very nice.
What state is that?
That's in Arizona.
Okay.
Then from there, we drive down to Sedona, Arizona, which is very nice.
Yep, I've
Obviously,
been
Sedona is a very popular place. From Sedona to Las Vegas for the night. And we're doing Speed Vegas in Las Vegas, so that'll be a good time.
Are they going to let us film? We went to Speed Vegas and they didn't give a shit the last time we filmed there. Do you think they'll do the same thing? Like we can have camera cars on there
you
and
can
stuff?
film. I don't think you can do camera cars, but we can film. We may be able to put up a drone if we want, but we don't need to go crazy. That footage is never really makes the edit.
Yeah, but I mean for teasers it'll be good. I know for 8003 because I remember going through it. Whatever racetrack you guys were at, you guys did like some
Spokane.
laps. Yeah,
Yep.
you guys did some laps that were just camera car laps.
Yep,
so to
we always
speak.
do that. Yep,
So we could do that on that racetrack.
we
That'll
could
be worth it.
if we want to. We'll see. But again, I'll leave you guys. When you notice that the people driving are never like us. It's just we like here, JF, take the cars, go out and do some. But we could probably get some B-roll from Speed Vegas too. We probably don't need to waste our time shooting our own B-roll for that.
I mean, we wouldn't want to use. Oh, we're using their cars.
Yeah, their cars, not our
Oh,
cars.
in that case, yeah, let's just get shit from
Yeah.
Speed Vegas. License that shit.
And then from there we go from Vegas to Yosemite.
Yep. Cool.
And Yosemite to Napa.
Sweet.
And we're in Napa for Friday night. We have dinner in Napa, breakfast in Napa, and then there's an optional day for Saturday. We figured we end the trip on a Friday, so if people want to spend the weekend in Napa, they can.
Cool.
And the Saturday options, you can do the wine train. There's a train that brings you to a bunch of different vineyards. Or the other option is you can do the a drive. We have a drive up through the Redwoods and over to the coast of California and back. So it seems to be pretty split between people doing that. And then Sunday, everyone's going to sort of roll out. But late in the day on Sunday, I know I'm going golfing. So
Sounds
all good things. Yeah, it's
Sounds
gonna
very
be a good trip. It's and we haven't started marketing it yet because we don't really have to. Actually, 8 spots left. Somebody else just signed up today.
Cool.
Well, we'll get the I'll get the trailers out and the teasers we can do for 8005, and we can use that. And my goal before Adventure Drives 5, I'll have the edit done for 8003 because I got to go through most of that already again. Because when I first edited it, it was very, very rushed, which is one of the reasons that I look back on it now. I'm glad I never finished it because it was trash.
Yeah.
And 8004 I'll get done. And I'll be more familiar with 8004 because I was on 8004.
Yeah.
So it'll be much easier to go through and edit. Just we'll get 8005 and get more people to sign up. But it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to finishing those videos too for my own portfolio.
Yep, and then after those are done, we're probably going to do some more events for Adventure Drives this year.
Cool.
Local events and start expanding out into smaller trips that people can sign up for. Maybe not as many cars, maybe more cars. I got to feel out the vibes, but just to have a more diversified product offering so people can get a taste and get an experience at a lower price point. Because ours is a very reasonable price point, but I do understand how at the end of the day you're talking a $15,000 week.
Yeah.
After you factor in flights and shipping your car and whatever else.
Yep.
And that's a lot of money for a lot of people. I don't know if I'd be comfortable spending 15. I have, but I don't think. I don't know. It's just I don't want to exclude all clients. I don't want to become too high end.
Right.
That product will always be high end, and it'll be an awesome value. But I want to make sure that there's stuff that just car enthusiasts that want to experience stuff can afford.
Sure.
And then there's the other aspect to it where you have these trips that you can't really turn into a 7-day trip, like the Northern Lights, or like you're up in Norway or Ireland, England. You can't turn that into a 7-day trip, but you can maybe hub out of London and go 15 different ways over 5 days, and that now became a trip. Or same thing, Iceland or Machu Picchu. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that people would want to do that you can't really string a driving trip around, but you can definitely go experience it.
Sweet.
So that's the Adventure Drives update.
Yeah. No, I like it. I really like the idea behind all of it. It's especially because prior to asking about Adventure Drives, this was back, I think, when I first heard about you doing Adventure Drives, and I asked about rallies when I was filming your first $500 car challenge. I remember being blown away. I was like, "Oh, how much are rallies? I wonder how much they cost." And they're like 50,000. I'm like, "What? Like what? Like Gold Rush is like 60 grand,
Wow.
I think, or something like that now, which is retarded." And then you've got Adventure Drives last year was what? It was like around like 12 grand or something like that.
Adventure Drives
person.
12.5, yeah.
Yeah, 12.5. And I was just like, really? That's a lot of money. And Rob's like, yeah, that's like cheap compared to some of these things. I'm like, fuck all. I didn't realize how expensive rallies were. But for the price point, considering what else is out there you can go on, I think it's a really cool trip.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I'm always excited for it, though. They're all great trips. There's some other stuff I can't go over yet. And ultimately, let's see what else there is. Evo Project. I'm kicking up the Evo Project.
I was going to say, that was one of my questions.
Yeah, I want to thank all the Patreon people. You guys are awesome. It was more engaging early on for the Patreon people. I feel like they've been a little quiet recently, but I'm still posting up there. And if you guys want to say hello, join the Patreon by all means. I appreciate the filming stuff like the $500 car challenge that we just filmed.
Yep.
And yeah, so
Ain't
and then the Evo build is going to happen.
Yep.
And it's good because I'm building a house, so I don't want to keep doing the money losing stuff on the YouTubes, but I'm happy to do it if I can at least offset it with support from the audience.
Sure.
And brands, and if I can make that happen, I'm happy to. I'll make full blown episodes every other day. I don't care. Like my time, I'm happy to put it into it. I'm just not happy to put it into it when it's not making money. It's very frustrating
100%.
when you can talk about a $20 window tint and it makes 10. No, but not even Rob Dom. But it's just like it's what everyone does.
Shit.
Like yeah.
No, I know.
I bought the cheapest piece of crap. And that cheapest piece of crap video gets 1 million views, and then you say like, "Here's an awesome video," and 70,000 people watch it.
Yeah.
And that's like, why don't I just go buy a bunch of cheap shit? Like, hey, I painted my car with Bear paint from Home Depot. Oh, holy crap! I can't believe the guy painted this shit from Home Depot.
Right.
And it's just a different,
It's sad because I was talking about it earlier, but I think a lot of the audience nowadays, people when they go on YouTube, they're expecting instant clickbaity content now.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody goes on. It's sad because nobody, I think, goes really on YouTube now to really get high quality content. They just go on there to get.
But they should.
I know they should.
Yeah.
But they go on Netflix for that, which is where we fucking belong.
But they should also. I agree. We belong on a paid.
Because that's what we're producing. People go
But-
on YouTube for 15 to 20 minutes
but
of
they-
stupid entertainment.
People respond very well to the good content, and
Oh, yeah,
I
everyone
think
loves
I
it.
think if the YouTube worked the way it should, that content should be featured more frequently than vlogs.
Right.
That's content. That's like it's essentially YouTube Red content for free.
Yep.
And there's no paywall in front of it. It's just something that it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yep. I try not to do. That's probably why I don't have as many views. I try not to do clickbait on my YouTube channel. Right.
Yeah, no, and it's
But-
sad because it really, really does
Yeah.
work. With the clickbait stuff. I mean, I could label a video. I've tried it. I've joked around with it. I label a video exactly what it is, and it will get no views in the first hour. I change that title. Maybe I tweak the thumbnail a little bit, or
Yeah.
even it's the same thumbnail.
I've never tried that. The tweaking after it's uploaded.
Oh, yeah, no.
Does that resend it?
Well, in my experience,
you can
my-
edit the.
like I've looked
the
at my views per hour, and it picks up like instantly. If
Cletus
I
says
change
he's
the
done
title-
that, where he's changed the title and then the response is completely different. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is. Like
I don't know what-
I've gotten it
yeah.
where it's you change the title or I change the thumbnail and instantly because it's like people are seeing a different video. They see it and they're like, "That's interesting."
But it's got to be a notification thing. Do more people get
No,
notified?
No, it's just instead of people scrolling past it, they click on it because it's more clickbaity. It's more like, "Oh,
like
what the
I'm
fuck
quitting
is that?
YouTube. You know.
I'm quitting YouTube."
Jimbo's
dot,
done
dot,
that
dot.
3 times.
I have done that, or I think
I
I've
haven't
made
done that
the
yet.
saying goodbye video
Oh, yeah.
like 3 times, and it's
Yeah.
been the same fucking title. But they all get good views compared to
Ah.
virtually anything else I put out.
I'll have to do that. I'll have to quit YouTube like once a month.
Well, I got a job.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
quitting YouTube.
I got a job.
But
I'm
like,
gonna quit
I
YouTube.
don't want to mislead people. I don't want to put up a video where I tell people something and then.
A lot of them are about 20 minutes. They didn't even talk about.
Yeah,
that.
no, I mean it's
Yeah.
it's so bad
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
and,
hey, guess what my car payment is? And then
Yeah.
it's like 17 and a half minutes in.
Right. Or
and
I have.
15 seconds of the video they actually mention it. Like,
Oh,
you gotta
yeah,
fucking
yeah, it's about
skip
$2 grand.
around.
Or
But,
I'm- I'm selling my McLaren, and they didn't talk about it the entire video.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where because I know the way people do these things now, you click on a video and whatever the title is, you just look at where the ad breaks are. And you
Okay.
click to where the ad break is because that's where the actual content is.
yeah, but some people just bulk dump ad breaks.
Yeah, from what I've seen, like just know, I know that like Mike Streetspeed does it, Evan Shanks does it. I mean, they all do. Garrett does it, Cletus McFarlane. They all put ad breaks right before like a burnout or whatever it
cliffhanger
is.
or whatever.
I mean, it makes sense. It's like normal television.
Right.
Like right before something
We'll be
interesting
right
happens,
back.
we'll be right back in 30
Yeah.
seconds. And I mean, it makes sense, and it keeps people on because it's really, if you think about it, it's not a 45-second ad break. It's 5 seconds. You click, skip
Right,
ad.
yeah.
Have non-skippable ads. A lot of people have those. But yeah, no, people.
My
It's
ads are
very
skippable.
intentional. yes. I think it's until you get to 100,000, you can't have non-skippable.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. No, YouTube, unfortunately, with the landscape and the way that I think it's really the way creators have tailored the audience now. It's what people expect. They expect to go on YouTube, get their 15 minutes of stupid entertainment or keep them busy, and then they go about their life. They don't go on there for feature films.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What else we got? I
not
was
too
ready to
much
wrap
else.
it. Are we over an hour?
We are at 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 50 seconds.
That
I'm
is
counting.
over an hour.
That's a wrap.
But we also
Yeah.
started a little bit, I think at like 10 minutes
Okay.
or something like that. So I think we got one more small topic. I think
Well,
we can
yeah, I
cover.
mean, I could talk about what we're doing this summer because I've got I want stuff I'm doing over at Gotham right now, so that's going to be taking up a bunch of time and start involving a lot of travel. But I want to do some like project events where we do invites or people can just submit to join and compete
Yep.
against us. So it's not just YouTubers; it's anyone with a car.
Cool.
I want to
and-
organize, like we've mentioned it on and off, but do like actual fan meetups.
Yeah, we
Like,
should definitely do like at least a New York-based fan meetup. I'd love to do a ride and drive series where we like Garrett brings his car up, I've got my car, Street Speed brings out a car,
Yeah.
and we take fans for rides in our cars.
Sweet.
So
Yeah.
I think that would be fun. And we could do that. I mean, maybe
And everyone gets a copy of we've talked about it. Like we put GoPros in the car, and everybody gets their own SD card at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that at a drag strip. We can do that.
Yeah,
I mean, because
anywhere.
we can just keep looping around. Drag strip,
Cross.
autocross. I feel like a drag strip, if we're launching the car 100 times a day, we're more
That's
susceptible
not really,
to.
maybe like a
breaking.
half-mile event is better for that.
No, I mean, we'll figure something out. But again, that I think would be a cool thing to do.
Yep.
Traveling circus that we can put on these events. We've got October. We're going to the Nürburgring, and I am telling you that is going to sneak up on us before we know it.
I know it's scary. I mean, shit, May itself. Like I'm busy for almost 2 weeks, but I mean, we got. So much shit
We
going
should have a house update soon. I've got my planning board meeting on the 23rd, and I should finally receive approval at this one. And then we can update you guys as far as all that's going. I've sort of shelved the updates on that just because there's somebody dissenting in the town who like combs my YouTube videos and tries to make me out to be a bad person.
The same person, right?
Yeah, but let's just say we're not really friends.
That's one word for it.
Well, you don't have to be friends with everybody, but like I'm a level-headed guy. I try to be like, hey, how can we like make this work?
Yeah.
And there's no making it work with this person. So that's life. Let's see here. We've got the news. I guess he wants to meet tomorrow. But I'm going to be in Pocono, so we're going to meet tomorrow.
Tell him to miss in Pocono.
Nah, I don't have time because I'm going to have people. I'm sure I'm going to be shaking hands and saying hello to people. So,
Yeah.
like,
Is
I
this
can't.
the first Superspeeders website?
No, I've had a website
Okay, I was
for.
going to say.
It's just
I've
it's
had.
old.
This
Even
is
Glenn's Car Collection has a website.
There you go.
This will be version 7 years.
I mean,
okay.
shit, you can't even accept credit card payments after what is it, like
2020, yeah, or
Yeah,
2019, I think is the latest credit card you can enter to buy something on my website. So
yeah,
like,
that's just
like
fun.
anyone with a normal credit card right now that doesn't
Yeah,
expire
mine's
in the next
19,
year.
I think.
Yeah, you can't buy anything on the website. It doesn't have a drop down menu that can take your billing
That's
code.
crazy.
So
It went to 1999.
the floodgates sort of open up as far as sharing information that I've been holding.
Cool.
Rob lays down the smackdown. The smack talk.
Smack talk. No, I don't really talk smack.
Rob lays down the smack is the word I was. And just like that, we actually ran out of space on our hard drive to continue recording the podcast. We were about to close it out, and the computer gave us some error code, and well, we don't have the rest of the podcast. But this is Jimbo here, just closing out. I wanted to say thank you guys for listening to the podcast or even watching the podcast on YouTube. Tune in next week. We will have more entertaining content and more BSing about BS. Once again, thank you guys for watching. All of you guys have a fantastic evening or morning, depending on what time you're listening. You have a good one.